What's up, you guys? For the past 2 months, I have been using Farmacy skincare exclusively, but hold up, before we get into the video, I have two very important things to say, so do not skip ahead. First is that I am doing a huge skincare giveaway over on my Instagram. It's at SariReanna, but I will also have the post link down below. Everything you need to know to enter will be on that post, but it is open internationally, and the prize is almost the entire lineup from Drunk Elephant, plus a bunch of other skincare goodies, so make sure you go enter. This giveaway is going to be open for a little while, but even if you do miss it, I do have more giveaways coming up, so head over there and follow me on Instagram anyways if you aren't already. Good luck to everyone who enters. Secondly, I recently went through all of my comments and I compiled a list of the most requested brands that you guys have asked to see in this series. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the top 8 brands on the screen here, and what I want from you guys to help me out is I want you to comment down below either with like your top 2 or 3 brands out of these 8, or you can do an entire ranking of all of them if you want. That is really going to help me out in planning out my 2020 reviews and really figuring out what you guys want to see the most. Also, if you're new to my channel, first of all, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed today's video. But like I just said, this is a series I do here on my channel. I've already reviewed brands like Drunk Elephant, Tatcha, Sunday Riley, etc. So all of my previous brand reviews will be linked down below. I'm also going to link all of the products mentioned in today's video as always, and my skin type will also be down there if you are just stumbling upon this video. So as always, I'm going to start off with a little bit of info on the brand. Farmacy's slogan is farmer cultivated, scientist activated, which I think is something we're seeing a lot more in skincare, you know, that kind of blend of naturals and active ingredients. They refer to their skincare as farm to face skincare. So they have a focus on clean, effective, and sustainable products. They are also cruelty free and all of their packaging is recyclable. Another thing we're seeing a lot with more clean skincare brands is they promise to exclude a lengthy list of ingredients. For Farmacy, that list is nearly 1,400 different ingredients that they will not use in their products, and a couple ingredients that you will see frequently in their products are honey and echinacea, just as like a little spotlight for them. One thing I really appreciated with testing Farmacy is that I wasn't missing any steps, so I didn't need to make any substitutions with this line. If you watch my previous reviews, a lot of skincare brands don't have SPF, so I've had to substitute in from another brand. I had literally everything I needed. The one exception I do allow myself is I will still use face masks from other brands while I'm doing these reviews, but for the most part, this was really all Farmacy for 2 months. So let's talk a little bit about what my skin was doing over these 2 months when I was using Farmacy. I'm not going to lie, I was not as diligent in taking photos of my bare skin as I usually am, but I am going to insert the photos I do have. So I officially started using Farmacy at the beginning of November. So I'm gonna insert a photo here from the end of October because this was kind of my starting point. In September, you guys know I wrapped up my Ulla Henriksen review, and then I took a 6-week break. And during that 6-week break, I did test out all of these Farmacy products that were new to me individually, just to, you know, limit confusing reactions or irritation or anything like that. But October, I would definitely say, was a high point for my skin. Like, damn, who is she? This is like a still from a video I filmed at the end of October, and I was so happy with my skin. Next photo is 1 week into using Farmacy. Everything's still looking pretty good. I was a little bit red here, but I took this photo in the car, so that's just from it being a little bit cold outside. Another photo that I took outside, I don't know why. Still looking pretty good, but I feel like my skin is definitely starting to look a little bit dull. Next photo is a little over a week into December. I look at this photo and I feel like my skin just looks absolutely lifeless. There is no glow, and I remember feeling the same way every time I looked in the mirror at this point. I was like, oh, my skin just looks so dull. And as you can see, I am starting to break out here. And unfortunately, this is the last photo I have before my after picture, because what followed immediately after this was the absolute worst breakout I have had since I finished Accutane over 3 years ago now. Weeks 7 and 8 of this review, my skin was terrible. On Christmas and New Year's, I had 9 cysts on my face, and I'm at the point now where, like I said, I finished Accutane over 3 years ago now. I'm very accustomed to my skin being clear. I get like maybe 1 or 2 superficial mild breakouts, like little tiny pimples around my period, and that's about it. So this really kind of shook me, and part of the reason I don't have photos is because, one, my self-image was extremely low during this time period, but also I was confused as to whether or not this might be a result of the Farmacy products or if my acne was just coming back. Here's a photo of what my skin looked like a few days into January after I had stopped using Farmacy when my breakouts were starting to calm down. Unfortunately, this is the best photo I have. I don't have a good photo of when all my breakouts were active, but hopefully based off of the fact that this photo you're looking at now is a significant improvement in my skin, will tell you just how bad my breakout was at the end of December. And of course, here is a photo of my bare face taken this morning of the day I'm filming this video. Things are thankfully getting back to normal. This is why I waited over 2 weeks to film this review, because I really wasn't sure if it was just my acne coming back. But seeing the immediate change and how my skin has cleared up since I stopped using Farmacy, I'm pretty confident in my ability to pinpoint a certain product from Farmacy as the culprit for my huge cystic flare-up. And I will be going more in depth on that very shortly, so don't you worry. But finally, before we get into the individual products, I have to give my usual disclaimer. This video is not sponsored, but these products were sent to me by Farmacy as per usual. You guys know that is how I make these reviews possible, because your girl just does not have the money to go out and buy an entire brand's lineup every few months to do these videos for you guys. I do not accept free products or sponsorships unless I have complete freedom to share my honest opinion and experiences. If you watch my videos, then you already know that how I get the products or my relationship with a brand does not influence how I conduct my reviews. You can always count on my raw, unfiltered thoughts on this channel and all across my social media. And I think if that's not already evident, then it will be today. But without further ado, let's jump into my Farmacy skincare routine. We are starting off with the Green Clean Cleansing Balm. I use this for the first month of my review, so all of November. This is one of Farmacy's best-selling products, but it's also just a very popular cleansing balm in general. People really seem to love it. This is formulated with sunflower and ginger root oils. It's a fairly solid consistency, and this really ticks all of my boxes in terms of my first cleanse and makeup removal. No irritation on my skin or eyes. It emulsifies well and it rinses off with minimal effort. And it also is really great for removing even stubborn makeup for all of November and December. And now I have been wearing waterproof mascara and it removes it all, no problem. This also contains papaya, so you get a light enzymatic exfoliation. Like I've mentioned in the past, papaya is also great for oil control and mattifying the skin. This cleansing balm leaves the skin cleansed and hydrated without being too heavy. It does have like a citrus scent. It honestly smells like a cleaning product to me, but I don't smell it when I'm actually using it that much. So all in all, I have no complaints with this product. I definitely see why it is so popular, because it is extremely effective. Is it going to replace my Holy Grail cleansing balms? Probably not. It's a good product, but there's nothing particularly unique about it. It's very comparable to the Clinique Take the Day Off Balm, the Benilico Clean It Zero, the Hamish Cleansing Balm, etc. If it's a product you've been dying to try, I would say go for it. I don't think you'll be disappointed, but there are cleansing balms out there that cost a little less that do perform in the exact same way. So for the month of December, I used the Very Cherry Clean Cleansing Balm, and this is where we start to run into some issues. I wasn't going to review this at all because it's limited edition, which don't even get me started on limited edition skincare. I think it's the most pointless thing ever. But I did end up receiving this and I was like, you know what, I have it, so I might as well use it and review it for you guys. I think it might already be gone at this point. Like, I'm not sure if it's still available. I can't see it on Sephora, and it is sold out on the Farmacy website. But due to what happened to my skin, I now need to include this product regardless. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about like ingredients, scent, consistency, etc., because it doesn't really matter if this is a limited edition product. But I'm pretty sure that this is what caused my cystic breakout, because this is the only thing I had changed in my routine for, you know, weeks. I'd been using the rest of the Farmacy products with no issues. And when I started using this, I also developed a rash on my eyelids, which I've only experienced once before when I started trying a new eye cream. I expected this to have the same formula as Green Clean, but with an added cherry scent, but it's not. It is a different formula, which, going back to my issue with limited edition skincare, why make this a new formula and then just take it away after a few months or whatever? It just really makes no sense. But when I stopped using Farmacy and my breakouts cleared up and also the rash on my eyelids went away, I was reflecting and I remembered that I had gotten a message from one of my Instagram friends, and she said that she is bummed because she can't use this new formula because it contains soybean oil. Soybean oil is fairly comedogenic. It has a rating of 3 out of 5. So I was like, okay, it makes sense that I started breaking out when I introduced this into my routine. And it makes even more sense when I think about how bad my skin was right around Christmas, because around Christmas I was wearing makeup pretty much every day because, you know, you have social obligations and everything like that. So I was using this every single night. Now, of course, if my acne really does end up coming back and I continue to have these huge cystic breakouts, which I haven't broken out since I stopped using this, then it's a different story and I will update you guys on that. But as of right now, I'm pretty confident in saying that this is what caused my breakout, so needless to say, I don't recommend this product. Might not even matter because you may never be able to purchase it again anyways, but if you see it, stay far away from it. Next is the Clean Bee Ultra Gentle Facial Cleanser. There are a few products from Farmacy that I had tried prior to embarking on this review, and this is one of them. So I have this totally empty bottle. Prior to this review, I had used up about 3/4 of this. I was using it last winter, and then this is kind of the damage I have done on my second bottle. I was keeping this in my shower, and I know James was using it at one point. This is a very sudsy lathering gel cleanser, so you guys probably already know how I feel about this product. It contains hyaluronic acid, glycerin, and a blend of different honey ingredients, including propolis and royal jelly. So there's a lot of humectant action happening in this cleanser. In my opinion, this is a very gentle and basic cleanser. However, I remember I did mention this in a video, and someone left a comment saying that they have dry skin and they found this cleanser to be super stripping. I don't have that problem at all with this product, but I am more combo to oily, so that is something to keep in mind. If you do have a drier skin type and you want to try this, then I would recommend getting a sample, because reviews on that aspect are fairly mixed. It also does have a pretty strong kind of floral honey smell that I don't think everyone would be a fan of, so that's another reason to check it out in store. Get a sample if you are able to. I know James wasn't really a fan of this cleanser because he said it was too gentle, but he was using it in the shower after work and he comes home absolutely filthy, so I don't really blame him. He always wants something intensive. Here's the part you all saw coming. I don't have any particularly strong feelings about this cleanser. Lathering cleansers are never going to be my first choice. Once again though, I used it for months prior to this review just of my own volition, but I'm not like in love with it. I wouldn't be super inclined to repurchase it, and I'm sorry if that's boring because that's just how I feel about lathering cleansers like 95% of the time. Let's switch things up a little bit and talk about a product from Farmacy that I love. This is the Bright On Massage Activated Vitamin C Mask. This is a product that has been in my regular rotation for over 1.5 years now. You can see I've done some serious damage on her. This is a color changing mask. As you massage it into the skin, it will change from a pale green to a pale lavender color. It's a very subtle color change, so I don't really know if the camera will pick up on it in the close-ups, but the color change is meant to signify that the vitamin C has been activated. And it doesn't take like a ton of manipulation or like rubbing or anything like that to see that color change happen. It's a very chalky and powdery mask. The base of it is very standard kaolin and bentonite clays, but it's not a very thick mask, so it doesn't dry really tight, it doesn't crack, so it's not like an uncomfortable clay mask. I don't find it leaves my skin super dry. It is also formulated with aloe vera and some natural fruit acids, once again to give a light resurfacing effect. What I love about this mask is the dramatic brightening and evening effect that it has after just applying it once for 10 minutes. The vitamin C in this mask is ascorbic acid, so it's great for that instant surface level glow. I love reaching for this on mornings on makeup free days when I want my skin to just look extra radiant and even. It's also a really great special occasion mask for that reason. If you want a mask that is going to give you instant gratification, this is it. This has been a favorite of mine for so long now, and this is the first time I've really talked about it because I've had in my head for a long time now that I was going to do this Farmacy review, so I'm really excited to finally share it with you guys. Definitely one I think you should try out, and I already have a backup of this, so it's going to remain in my face mask rotation for a very long time. The next face mask is the Honey Potion. This is the product that I think of when I hear Farmacy. This and the Green Clean Cleansing Balm I feel like are the quintessential Farmacy products. I'm sure a lot of you guys will relate. A quick note on the packaging for this. The lid is actually magnetic, and this product comes with a metal spatula that attaches to the lid, which I think is genius. Of course, I have still managed to lose the spatula, but if you're more responsible than me, then I think that is a brilliant feature. This is another mask that requires some massage action. At first touch, it's a thick jelly consistency. It basically feels like a really thick honey, but minus the super sticky quality. So as you massage this into the skin, it actually turns into a white cream. It really thins out and takes on more of an oily feel. When I first opened this product, I thought it was going to be super goopy and thick. I didn't realize it would kind of transform, so I figured I would be using a ton of product. But the transformation aspect actually helps it spread really well, and you end up using a lot less product than you think you would. This mask also does heat up as it melts under your fingertips, so there is a fairly strong warming sensation. I do have very sensitive skin, as you guys know, so this is quite intense for me. I think it's teetering right on the edge of being irritating, but it's like not quite there, so My skin does tolerate it, but it definitely leaves me fairly rosy after every application. Obviously, this mask contains honey, but once again, you also have that blend of propolis and royal jelly. Propolis is a mixture of beeswax and bee saliva. It's also referred to as bee glue, and royal jelly is essentially a nutritious secretion that bees produce to feed their young. Both of them, like honey, are very antibacterial and antiseptic, very healing for the skin. They're often used like directly on wounds and cuts to prevent infection, on top of the already, you know, antioxidant rich and hydrating qualities that honey has. You guys already know I love honey in my skincare because these properties make it incredible for acne prone skin, and I had really high hopes for this mask, and I don't want to say I was let down, but I'm also not blown away by it. It is a lovely mask, it's very hydrating, but I think for the price I would be more likely to just go out and buy a jar of pure Manuka honey. Buying Manuka honey feels really expensive because you're like, it's just honey, what's the big deal? And it can really get up there in price, but comparatively it is still cheaper than the honey potion mask, and in my opinion it functions the same if not better. I'm going to link some pure Manuka honey down below. I never like crazy splurge on it. The Manuka honey I bought in the past is around like $40 a jar, but it is 10 times the size of this mask. So I can spend $40 on a 500 gram jar of Manuka honey, or I can spend $50 Canadian on 50 grams of Farmacy honey potion mask. Really quickly, I just want to touch on the sheet masks and also the Skin Dew face mist. So Farmacy currently has two different sheet masks. One is hydrating and one is brightening, as you can see. These are the first products I ever tried from Farmacy almost 4 years ago, and I have been using them pretty frequently ever since. These are a thin hydrogel sheet mask, so they adhere really well to the face, and for me they are a perfect fit. There's nothing worse than putting on a sheet mask for your like 15 to 20 minutes of relaxation, and you spend that entire time having to stick it back to your face because it's lifting and it's just not fitting very well. It just ruins the entire experience. And of course I do like the essence on them as well. I don't notice like major brightening effects from this one. They're kind of interchangeable in my mind. Like I feel like they both give me the same results, but the essence is very nourishing. These are one of the few more expensive sheet masks that I think are totally worth purchasing, and they're not crazy expensive. They're like $8 Canadian, $6 USD. And like I said, I also tried the Skin Dew Hydrating Essence Mist and Setting Spray. It is very rare that I feel a face mist does more for my skin than simply kind of absorption prep, you know, lightly dampening the skin so the rest of my products absorb better. And you can really use any face mist for that. Like you can get like a $5 rose water spray from the grocery store, and it kind of does the same thing, so I really don't love the fact that this is $57. This is meant to be collagen boosting and antioxidant rich. It also contains kiwi for a little bit of vitamin C. It has a very strong herbal scent, like it's very like, oh, I'm in a spa right now, okay. This has a really powerful spray, like it really drenches your face, but as long as you're holding it far enough away, it is quite even. If you hold it closer, you will definitely get droplets on your face. I didn't even bother trying to use this as a setting spray because I know it will get my face way too wet. This is just a pass for me though. I simply cannot justify the price. The only mist I've ever really fallen in love with for skincare purposes is the Caudalie Grape Water, and that is $24 for twice the amount of product. Alright, let's talk about serums. My daytime serum was the Very Cherry Bright 15% Clean Vitamin C Serum. This serum touts 4 different forms of vitamin C. I'm going to insert Farmacy's little graphic here because you guys are probably going to be bored to tears hearing me list off all the scientific names, but one of those is also acerola cherry, which on top of being an antioxidant rich little fruit, you get some brightening and collagen boosting effects like normal vitamin C, but it also does have astringent properties, so it's recommended for oilier skin types. It also contains hyaluronic acid and peptides. I feel like this vitamin C serum is a lot more effective for targeting firming and plumping, you know, the collagen boosting effects of vitamin C, than it is for brightening. Like I said, I felt like my skin just looked so dull using this routine. I didn't get the glow I was expecting from this product. I will say that there was no irritation with this product. It does have like a pretty strong artificial maraschino cherry smell, which I don't love, and it is quite sticky. I did find this applied best on skin that was slightly damp, so that is typically when I would reach for the Skin Dew Mist. The first few times I used this, I really did not like the texture because it was so tacky, but once I started using the spray beforehand, that helped reduce that kind of feeling significantly, and it was a lot better. The texture actually really grew on me. It's got kind of a nice smoothing quality to it, so it is nice under makeup, for me anyways. Some of the reviews I read, people were saying that this really makes their foundation pill. I didn't run into that issue at all. Once again, I think for the price, there are just better vitamin C products out there if you are looking for brightening. If you're more after the collagen boost, then you might like this more than I did. My night serum was the Honeymoon Glow AHA Serum. I was really excited to try this product because I've heard some people say it acts as kind of a dupe for the Sunday Riley Good Genes, but at a fraction of the price. But anyways, this is a 14% blend of AHAs, including glycolic, lactic, citric, and fruit acids. This also has a naturally derived salicylic acid that comes from willow bark, and once again we do have that blend of kind of honey ingredients that I touched on before, which I think is a really nice balance to kind of have the more harsher acids with the healing ingredients. I like the consistency of this. It's a more milky serum, but it absorbs well, and for me it just leaves like a slight kind of tingling sensation. This does have a strong musty honey smell though that once again I don't think will be for everyone. I was excited to have a daily chemical exfoliant in my routine because that is something that I really prioritize, and I really liked this at first. I felt like it was doing a really good job keeping my skin clear of those mild occasional superficial breakouts that I mentioned before my cystic breakout hit, and I also felt like I was waking up every morning looking really radiant, but once again my skin just got so dull using this pharmacy routine. But I think that's due more to the lack of hydration in this routine than it is a fault of this serum, because I'm at the time of year where my skin naturally does get very dehydrated if I'm not taking the proper precautions. I think in the warmer months, or even paired with something like the Vichy Mineral 89, I would have really continued to love this serum because I did feel like it was really effective when I first started using it. Once again, I feel like it was more that the entire routine was lacking something my skin needed, and that was the cause of the dullness, but I will talk about that more when I'm wrapping up the video and sharing my final thoughts. I do think this is a good product and a viable option if you've been wanting to try out something like the Drunk Elephant TLC Farm Booze or the Sunday Riley Good Genes, but you're not wanting to spend quite that much, and I am really looking forward to trying this more under the right circumstances. Next is the Honey Drop Lightweight Moisturizer. This is the only moisturizer I used morning and night for 2 months, and honestly that was quite refreshing after some of my past reviews. I really got to focus on just this product, so that was really nice, and this is really one of the only moisturizers Farmacy has. They also have like an overnight firming balm, but that's meant more for mature skin, so this is really kind of it. This is described as a super lightweight yet intensely hydrating gel cream. It is thin, but I wouldn't describe it as super lightweight because it definitely does leave kind of an oily feel on the skin, and when you look at this product there are these little golden beads in it. Those are Kupwasi butter and they melt as you massage it into your skin. The fifth ingredient in this moisturizer is alcohol denat. Getting that out of the way right off the bat because I know for a lot of you that's going to make this product an instant pass, and I don't blame you, and I feel like it is kind of a weird choice for a brand that excludes so many other ingredients. I don't feel like it's necessary in this product. I want to talk about echinacea while we are on this moisturizer because like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it is in the majority of Farmacy's products. So echinacea is really great for the immune system and it's very anti-inflammatory. It's shown to be great for treating sensitive skin conditions like eczema and also treating acne as well, and it also promotes skin cell regeneration. However, it's not a very stable ingredient. It's known for expiring pretty quickly, and obviously Farmacy puts preservatives in their products and everything, but it just had me kind of curious about how the echinacea will react to being in a product like this where it's constantly being opened and exposed to air and it's something that you're using long term. I was just kind of curious about the effectiveness. Anyways though, I thought this was a nice moisturizer. It was fine for nighttime, it's fine for during the day. I found on makeup free days I would get fairly oily when I was using this though. It wasn't as much of an issue on days when I was wearing makeup surprisingly, but I think that's due to the added layer of primer, a little bit of powder, etc. But I got really bored of using it towards the end of the 2 months. I was so excited to finish this review so I could change things up and start using a different moisturizer. So to me that means I definitely didn't fall in love with it. I don't think it's anything super special. Quickly, let's talk about the Honey Grail facial oil. This is by far the thickest oil I have ever tried, so much so that I have a hard time even considering it an oil because it's more of a gel. I typically mix 1 to 2 drops of whatever oil I'm using in with my moisturizer. This really just sits on top of the skin though and doesn't absorb for me, which It's not a deal breaker for me at all. Like, I don't mind having like a lot of product on my face, as you guys know, especially if it's overnight or a makeup free day, especially if it's like a really cold day and I need some protection from the weather. I felt like it didn't really blend very well with the Honey Drop Moisturizer, and on its own it was quite sticky. However, I have a major bone to pick with this oil. The first line of the description is literally a fast absorbing, non-comedogenic face oil, but the first ingredient in this is a coconut derivative, and the fourth ingredient is literally straight up coconut oil. Coconut oil has a 4 out of 5 comedogenic rating. I don't know how they get off describing this as a non-comedogenic oil. Granted, coconut oil is definitely more of an acne trigger for some people than it is for others, but no matter what way you spin it, coconut oil, one of the main ingredients in this product, is a comedogenic ingredient. Generally speaking, I don't tend to use oils more than a couple times a week, and especially because I wasn't a huge fan of the consistency of this, I was just using it twice a week at night, so I really didn't try it that much, and thankfully I didn't have any breakouts, but just a word of caution if you were interested in trying this and you do have a sensitivity to coconut. Okay, we're down to eye cream, SPF, and lip balm. We are in the home stretch, my friends. The eye cream I use from Farmacy is the Do It All Total Eye Cream. I believe when I started this review, this was actually the only eye cream they have. Since then, they've come out with an eye cream in their cherry line, which due to the rash that I had on my eyelids from the cherry cleansing balm, I probably will not be trying at any point. I have another bone to pick, you guys, but this time it is with the packaging. This applies to the eye cream, but also the honey potion and honey drop moisturizer. However, the eye cream is the worst offender in this regard, so that is why I'm bringing this up here. I love the look of this packaging. It is beautiful and so aesthetically pleasing. I love like the wooden lids, but this jar shape is not functional. You can see when I open the eye cream that I've hit pan on it. It looks like I've used a ton of product, when in reality I haven't. After about 2 weeks of using this, I would say, it became really difficult to get the product out with my finger. I either have to really dig out a lot of the product at a time, or what happens is the product ends up getting pushed around the outer walls and it ends up getting kind of stuck in this crevice because the opening of this jar is so small. Hopefully that makes sense. Obviously these jars are bigger, so it didn't happen quite as fast, but once again we've got like a really small opening on this jar, so even with the honey potion I'm at the point where the product is getting pretty difficult for me to get out, and a spatula can only help so much because even using a spatula to scrape it out, there's still going to be a lot of product that gets stuck up around this edge, and then it's going to be like, okay, how do I get the rest of this out? And I'm already at that point with the eye cream where there is so much product stuck in here that I just can't access. You would need like a special curved flexible tool in order to get all of the product out. So while I think these jars are gorgeous, that is a major flaw in my mind. Aside from that, I actually quite like this eye cream. It has a really nice consistency. It did a fantastic job hydrating. It's great under concealer. It is definitely more geared towards signs of aging and mature skin, so it probably wouldn't be my top choice for an eye cream anyways, but the packaging would keep me from repurchasing it either way. Second to last is the Green Screen Daily Mineral SPF 30. The name of this product has changed. It's now called Green Defense, but the product is still the exact same. So my favorite SPF, as you guys know, is the Sunday's Seashells, which by the way, that finally just came back in stock, so I'll link it down below for those of you who have been waiting to buy it. That SPF is only available in the US though, so I was ecstatic when I tried this and discovered I liked it so much because it is the closest thing I have personally found to the Sunday's SPF. So I was like, great, I have a solid recommendation now for my Canadian followers because Farmacy is so much more widely available. But then I had the super depressing realization that this is not available on Sephora Canada yet, if it ever will be. You can only buy it directly from the Farmacy website if you're Canadian, and let me just save you some time, don't even go look at the Farmacy website if you live in Canada because their shipping prices are ridiculous. Lower your Canadian shipping prices, please. This is a really lovely zinc oxide based SPF. It's fairly lightweight. It does have a slight white cast, but it goes away as it absorbs. I find that's pretty typical of physical SPFs. You know, they just have that kind of milky blue tinge when you first apply them. It wore well under makeup for me. No irritations, no breakouts. The Sunday's Seashells is still my favorite SPF because I find that that product actually improves my skin, whereas this product just offers protection. Like I said though, it is the closest thing I have found, so this is a good alternative if it is easily accessible to you. Finally, we have the Honey Butter Lip Balm. I am in love with this lip balm. It even made it into a previous favorites video of mine. Typically, I don't find these like twist up chapstick style lip balms all that impressive. There are a couple exceptions, but for the most part I'm just kind of like meh. So the fact that I like it this much is saying something. This is how much I have left, you guys. I've been packing this whenever I travel. It is even past the Canadian winter test. It has kind of like a melty oily consistency when you apply it, but it's not so much to the point where it feels gross on your lips, if you know what I mean. I'm sure we've all tried a lip balm where you apply it, feels nice on the lips, but as soon as it wears off, you're like, what was the point of that? Like, that did absolutely nothing for my lips. If you are looking for a lip balm that is genuinely going to give you long-term hydration, then I would highly recommend this. Alternatively, Farmacy also does make this Honey Savior all-in-one salve. I keep this on my nightstand, and it is a very similar formula to the lip balm. Like, if you look at the ingredients, they are very similar products. This does just have more of like a thick, waxy, protective feel since it is a salve, but I just wanted to recommend this as well. I do use this on my lips, but it's obviously multi-purpose. You can use it on any dry patches or anything like that, so I thought I would mention it really quickly if you're into this type of product. And that is all of the Farmacy products I tested. As always, we are going to wrap things up with my final thoughts. So obviously, finishing up these 2 months with a terrible cystic breakout, I was not very happy, but I really tried my best when I was putting together this review to individually assess all the products and think about how my skin was reacting before I started breaking out, so I could still be fair, because obviously if one of the products made me break out, I could come on here and be like, the whole line is garbage, but that is not how I feel, and I want to accurately convey that. But the truth is, I wasn't loving this skincare routine before I broke out either. Like I've said numerous times, I just felt like my skin was so dull and dehydrated while I was using Farmacy. There are definitely still products in this line that I would continue using. The Green Clean Cleansing Balm, the Vitamin C Mask, the Sheet Mask, the Night Serum, SPF, and Lip Balm are my favorites. Just as a recap, those are the products that I do think are worth purchasing, and those would be my top recommendations from this video. I think Farmacy is lacking a truly deeply hydrating product that can be used in your daily routine. The Honey Potion Mask is definitely the closest Farmacy comes to providing this kind of hydration, but it's not a product that most people are going to use daily. Yes, using this brand at the start of winter did amplify that feeling for me, but your skin needs adequate hydration regardless of what time of year it is, what climate you're in, what skin type you have. I also feel like none of the Farmacy products really did a great job strengthening my skin's natural protective barrier or being really protective for my skin, and I think that did make me more susceptible to breaking out, irritation, etc. I was expecting my Farmacy review to go very differently because I have had such great experiences using some of their products individually in the past, and once again, I absolutely love Honey, so I thought Farmacy was going to work super well for me as a whole. I honestly thought this was going to be one of my favorite brands that I reviewed, but it really didn't end up that way. It's safe for me to say their overall routine definitely isn't for me, which is totally fine. I always mix and match my skincare brands anyways, but for me at this point, I feel like the mark of a good brand is a brand that even if I don't love all of the products, which is pretty common, I mean, it's rare that I love absolutely everything from a brand, even if that's the case, I still want to go out and try more products from them. And I'm not really feeling that with Farmacy right now. I kind of feel like I've seen what they have to offer, and I'm not like dying to try more products from them. I'm just left feeling a little bit disappointed basically, and I feel like I'm ending this video on kind of a weird note, but as always, you guys know I encourage you to seek out other reviews and other opinions. I'm just one person. This is just how the products work for me. If you're curious about a brand or a product, don't ever just stop at my video, and like I always say, if you're able to, get samples, because ultimately that's going to be the best option and you can see how it works for your skin. But anyways, that is going to be it for today's video. Don't forget to check out the description box to links for all of the products, all of the videos, everything mentioned today, and don't forget to go enter my Instagram giveaway, and also comment down below leaving me your ranking of the brands you want to see me review in 2020. As always, give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, informative, interesting, anything like that. Follow me on social media. I'm at SariReanna on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe down below if you're new for more skincare content, but I will talk to you guys in the next one.